he's been where so many of us are. He's been in a place where he has had to hold himself accountable. And right now, I'd like you to give him a warm round of applause.
Good evening. How y'all doing today? I'm excited. I don't know about y'all. I'm excited. It's so good to be back and to see so many of you all's faces again. It's good to see the pictures and the slides and hear you get excited, because it just speaks to the accomplishment. It speaks to how you feel and what's taking place over these past few weeks. So I want to talk to you all tonight about vision and consistency. And it was funny hearing Teresa talk about those things, because vision, first, it sets the pattern. It sets your goal. It tells you where you should be. Any of you all know where you're headed? You have a vision of yourself? Did y'all see yourself completing that 5K before you finished it? No. Can you raise your hand if you saw yourself? How about day to day, about each practice? How did you feel about the practices? You see yourself getting through those days? Yeah, you did it. That's awesome, because you made it happen. You saw it before it happened. And so now the question is, what's next? What's next? Where do you see yourself going now? The things that you've learned about you, the tools that you've picked up, what's next? What is your vision now? So knowing that you have a place to go, knowing that there's more in front of you, see those things and now take a step back. Because now it takes the work to get to that place. So day in, day out, commitment, consistency. My personal definition for consistency is responding to the challenges of each day by keeping your principles intact in thought, speech, and action. John Maxwell talks about responding because it's positive. Something happens and I respond. I control my reaction. I don't let circumstances dictate to me, because when I react, I give control away. Someone yells at me or they say something slick, and I immediately get an attitude, start popping my neck, I'm running to my friends. Now circumstances or what transpired is in control of me. My attitude is bad. I don't want to go to practice. It's hot outside, like Teresa mentioned, and I don't feel like sweating. I'm reacting. But when I respond, I take a moment to consider my vision, where I'm headed, and I control my attitude. I control my emotions. And that's what you guys have to continue to do going forward. You showed the consistency. You've displayed that you have vision, that you can get through obstacles, because I know it was hot. I was out here in Houston these days too, and I didn't even want to walk from the car to the office. So I know how it felt to be out there working out day to day. Was it easy? No. Was it easy for anyone in the room? No. It's not. It took effort. It took commitment. It took consistency. Because you couldn't complete the 5K by not working to get to that day. You couldn't complete it by not showing up and giving your all each and every day, but you remained consistent. You stayed true to the principles. You stayed true to your vision, and you kept it all together, and you worked hard to get it done. So now that that's complete, you're different. I don't want you to believe that, or want you guys to go back to being the same now. To allow days to pass and just to fall back into a place where circumstances once again control my days. I want you to be mindful. I want you to let your vision and where you see yourself going forward control your actions. Because you can get it accomplished. Because you've witnessed yourself overcome obstacle after obstacle after obstacle, preparing to run this 5K. You've learned what it is to reach within and pull out something special. You've learned consistency. Tyler Perry talked about when he first started, everyone know who Tyler Perry is? You know Medea, right? If you don't know Tyler, most people know Medea. So he talked about in 1992, he was doing his first play. he was all revved up and excited. He had sold tickets for months. Got everyone out. The place set up beautifully, expecting 12 to 1,500 people. 30 people show up. And he says he knows every single one of the 30 people. He failed. In his mind, he failed. But failure is only a failure if you allow it to be. Failure is only a failure if you allow it to be. Because when you go through tough times, you have the choice of quitting or carrying on. For 6 years, 1992 to 1998, he held that play annually. 30 people, 30 people, 30 people. And then finally he had a breakthrough because he was consistent. He stayed true to his principles. He stayed true to the work that he put in. He stayed true to his vision. And sometimes things don't happen how you want at a specific time, but if you stay consistent and true to the work, if you stay committed, doors will start to open up. You see, there's a place set for each and every one of our lives, but we have to be committed to the vision and keep working and keep pressing. And then we'll get to the place where the person who has the opportunity, that will wait on specifically you. Because when we choose to control circumstances and take control of our lives and live out purpose, no one can fulfill the lane of our life. When we were created with purpose, and we were created with the space of opportunity to fulfill that purpose. I can't walk in Teresa's shoes, and Teresa can't walk in mine. I have to choose to show up daily, committed, and fulfill the purpose for my life. The same as you all have reached down and showed daily that you can fulfill purpose, you have to now take that from the 5K and apply it to life and see yourself taking steps forward and getting better and growing and building relationships. What happens is a lot of times in life we fail. Bad things just happen to us. People lie to us, and it's traumatizing. When I came out of college and I didn't make it to the NFL, I thought it was over with. I called myself a failure. I told you guys about that the last time. I thought that's all that life had for me. But I had closed off the rest of my life. See, I didn't give my brain a chance. I only knew sports, and that's what I thought made me who I was. And some of us, or you in this room, have experienced things in life that have told you because of who your parents are not, this is what your life is limited to. Because you have went through these things, you can't achieve certain heights in life. But those are lies. And it's up to us to take control of the circumstances. I was at home and just kind of defeated. It's like, what can I do to get out of this? How can I change my circumstances? And I decided what I said earlier, that failure was an option that I chose. You see, when they said you won't be in the NFL, I closed off to the feeling of goosebumps, to the feeling of being amped up or excited about something. Because when you get excited and you feel ready and you think that you're about to have it and then it's closed, it's painful. It hurts. When someone tells you that you can't, that you're not good enough, when you're lied to by a loved one, when someone beats you down mentally and physically, it makes you close off to feeling possibilities. It makes you want to close off to light coming into your life because you don't want to experience that pain again. But I had to decide to start believing. I had to decide that, you know what, Marques, just because you didn't make it to the NFL does not mean you cannot be successful. Just because your parents aren't from the other side of town and you didn't grow up with notoriety, it doesn't mean you can't accomplish something special. You see, we go through trials and tribulations only to find out that the trials and tribulations don't defeat us, they complete us. That's what makes us. It's not what happens to you that defines you. It's how you respond to what happens to you. And I quit for about 2 years, and then I got up, and I started fighting for my life. I started fighting for my vision. I started fighting for my purpose. And I started seeing myself again in that place of accomplishing something, of doing something special, of influencing lives of other people to be great. And it wasn't just the jump into success and I'm here. It took the same commitment that you all have displayed. It took the same consistency, showing up and working and pouring in. It took doors being closed in my face and me learning to say it's okay to be told no. That I can get up again tomorrow and keep trying. And that the opportunity that's waiting on me, I'll learn how to fulfill that on the journey. You see, I had to be equipped with certain things to be in this place. I had to experience those things to know how to talk to you. I had to go to Toastmasters classes to gain experience as a speaker, to be equipped with tools to reach various audiences. But it also took me opening up to that light, to opportunity, to step into it, to learn this. Because as long as those doors were closed, I was afraid to experience failure again. So what you cannot do is go on beyond this, being afraid to believe in yourself. It's time. You've tasted. You know what success is. You know what it is to work through something. How many of you all grew up knowing someone who ran for a living, just goes out and runs 5Ks and marathons? I don't either. So you've been to a foreign place. You've done something that's foreign to you, to your family, to all the people that you know outside of here that would say you're not going to get it done. How many of you talked to someone that really didn't believe in you, but you still did it? Look at that. That's amazing. It doesn't stop here. It does not stop here. Just keep showing up. As athletes, we close with this story. We're taught about having a championship mindset. And every day you have to be a champion. I don't care what happened last night. I don't care what went on this morning. When you show up ready to work, and you work as hard as you can. You don't run from anything. The New England Patriots, all of you familiar with that football team? Always, oh look, she's clapping. Well, Malcolm Butler, he was a rookie last season. And one of the toughest things in the NFL is to be a rookie because it's new to you. Your responsibility is now on you. You don't have coaches and teammates to pull you out of the bed. You're a man now. You're expected to get the schedule and bear the responsibility. But even before then, Malcolm Butler started out in a small town in Alabama. And he didn't have the opportunities that all the other guys that had in the NFL. He had to work his way through a small school. And in the beginning, he made mistakes. He got in trouble for drugs. So he was kicked out of the first school he went to. Now he had to go to another college. He had to work full time and go to school. Work full time and go to school. I can tell you as an athlete on a scholarship that being an athlete is a job in itself. Because they will call you at 4 a.m. and say, get to the stadium, and you can't question it. They'll say you have to be in class and then go to tutorials, and you can't question it. They say you have to eat this meal, and then you need to come back to this meeting and work out, and then practice, and you can't question it. But he committed to all of those things. And he poured out, and soon he made it through college, and he had an opportunity to try out for the NFL. But in order to try out, he couldn't work out at his school like all the other athletes. He had to go all the way to a major university just to be seen. And when he got there, he ran a 4.6 40. As a defensive back, that's slow. That's saying you're not going to be in the NFL because you've been in trouble, you're slow, and you come from some school that none of us know, like many of our circumstances. Someone doesn't know you. You come from a background that many people don't find appealing. Things have happened in your life that make you think you shouldn't be a winner. But you have to keep fighting for your purpose. You have to keep showing up and giving it your all every day. Shows up to camp. He goes and still performs, gets a phone call, we want to bring you into camp at the Patriots. They said he fought like a dog. They said there were guys that had been in the league for years on top of years, and he had more fight than any of them. And that's how he made the team. But even though he made the team when the season started, he didn't play. So he will practice just as hard as everyone else, only to not play in the games. And that can be defeating as an athlete. That can make you think, why am I here if they don't want to use me? Sometimes life will put you in a place where you feel like you have everything needed to succeed, but you can't put it on display. But that doesn't mean you quit. That means you keep working. Because patience is more than waiting. So you just work hard. You get better even though no one sees it. Because when the time comes, you're going to be expected to show up. And it's all about doing the same thing that you've been working on, being that same person. Because for athletes and entertainers, nothing changes when they get on the stage when we see them. Only the people in the attendance in the arena, they do the same thing they do in practice. That's how we have to be about life. We have to give those same efforts every day. We have to show up and pour in and give it our all. Well, he goes through the season, and they're the Patriots. They make it to the Super Bowl, right? Every day in practice, he's giving it his all. And they get in the Super Bowl, he's still not starting, but now a couple guys are hurt. Malcolm, we need you in the game. At this point, Malcolm, I hope that you've been paying attention. At this point, Malcolm, I hope that you've been studying the plays. I hope that you've been working hard. I hope that you've been believing in yourself. I hope that you still are thinking about the vision, that you're still focused on where you're supposed to be and not where you are right now. I hope that you let you being a champion, you deciding the winning play of the game, leads your actions each and every day. I hope that you guys are thinking about what's next for your lives, what you're going to do daily and not just be in the moment. That you're going to take advantage of what's accessible to you while you're here so that when you leave, you can be different on the outside. And it should start being a reflection in your life while you are here. Strength. Women of strength. It's not time to put it on display only in the 5K. I should be a woman of strength walking around here and everyone should know what I'm representing. So they get down to the final plays of the game and the Patriots are winning. Seattle Seahawks are driving down the field. Malcolm Butler's in the game pouring his heart out. Biggest stage of his life. And he's, I just don't want to mess up and lose the game. They throw a long pass and he's guarding the guy, does everything perfect. Ball comes, he tips it. It's like, wow, I made the play. The guy he's guarding hits the ground and the ball still drops in his hands. Now the team is set up to make the touchdown to win the game, but he's thinking, dang, I did everything perfect. Sometimes you do in life and it still doesn't happen. But you can't close the door on believing in yourself. You have to keep thinking, what's next? What's next? And bring that intensity, bring that focus, bring that courage, and bring that strength. He gets up from the play, they run the ball. Now they're inside the 5-yard line, 3 yards, and it'll be a touchdown to win the game. The next play comes out, Malcolm lines up, he recognizes the formation. He says, you know what, in practice, just this past week, I saw them run this play and they made a touchdown on me. See, failure is only a failure when you allow it to be. In practice, they beat me. It's the game now, and I've seen it. So now I have a choice to believe in my ability, to believe in what I've been exposed to believe in the effort that I've put in to get to this place. They snap the ball, he sticks his foot in the ground, he breaks on the pass. Russell Wilson, the quarterback for the Seahawks, throws it, and he's there before the receiver is. He intercepts the ball to win the Super Bowl. Biggest stage of his life. Game changer. He's now known worldwide because billions of people are watching it on television. All because he chose to be consistent. All because he chose to think about the next play. All because he chose to not let failure be failure. He chose to make failure his stepping stool. On his way to success, starting way back in Alabama, he would fail and he'd step up on it. He would get a little better. He moved to the next place, he failed, and he'd step up on that. He got there, he ran a 4.640, they told him he wouldn't make it, he stepped up on that. Because you don't win your way to success, you fail your way to success. So I encourage you all to keep fighting. So, in closing, I want to ask you all again to say something with me. And I'm going to say some things. I'll say probably 2 words like bad play. I want you all to say next play. So let's take a practice. Let's practice with that. Bad result?
Next play.
That's right. Okay. That's what we're going to say. Next play. So bad result?
Next play.
I'm lied to?
Next play.
Feeling tired?
Next play.
Things not how I want them to be?
Next play.
Just keep thinking next play in your life. And stay consistent. And you won't only change your lives, you'll change the lives of your children, your families, and everyone who comes in contact with you all. Thank you so much for your time.